Hi, it's Kane Hodder, Jason from Friday the 13th. You're watching Slash and Cast. Keep watching, or I'll kill you and your whole family.
What's going on, horror fans? Welcome back to another episode of Slash and Cast. My name is Riley. That is Nick. Before we get things started, we figured we should probably let you know that we're giving away a PS4 and 3 copies of Friday the 13th The Game, one of which is coming with the PS4, and then the other 2 will be to 2 runner-ups. By the way, you have the option, if you win, to have a physical copy or the digital copy. Since now physical copies have officially been announced for October 13th, we can do that for you guys. But if you do decide physical copy, you'll have to wait until the game comes out, of course. If you want to enter that giveaway, it's symbols going to link in the description at gleam.io. There's a bunch of options to enter, some of which are worth more than one entry, so you should take a look into that. But subscribing, following us on Twitter, tweeting out the giveaway, stuff like that, super easy. Make sure you do it.
Yeah, make sure you also join our Discord server. It's a great place to find all of our content, even when we go live. Every new episode of Slashcast and Gaming is also host to our movie nights. Movie nights are exclusive to our Discord. We usually run about 3 to 4 movies every Saturday night, which usually follow a theme. We have a little pre-show and drive-in-like elements during the intermissions and that pre-show.
Which are awesome.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah.
From the 50s and 60s. It's a nice place, you get to hang out with like-minded horror fans.
Yeah.
So make sure you join our Discord. Link is also in the description.
Yeah, a lot of people ask, there's a chat for movie nights. There is. Okay, I want to make sure to clarify that. There's a chat, and a lot of people go into voice chat in the Discord as well, and talk about the movie there. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our first line of news, which, of course, is Friday the 13th, The Game. A lot of you guys already know. We've done some videos on it as well, but, of course, we got to talk about it here. They're back in mocap, okay? They did a 2-day mocap studio run, which revealed a ton of kills, okay? Some that were insane, some that were just for single player, some that were just for multiplayer, some that were both, okay? Now, we got to look at stuff that, like, gas cans being poured down people's throats and then a flare being shoved down their throat and they're burning from the inside out. Like, that's the road we're going down. Pretty intense stuff, and it's awesome. We did a video directly for that, though, so you should check that out to get more details. I gotta say, I'm excited, though. All right?
Yeah.
And it looks like, what's cool about it is it looks like we're getting some more kills for every Jason. It looks like every Jason's going to have more weapon-exclusive kills, and it looks like we have a lot more environmental ones to come. And then it seems now, it appears that we're getting some DLC soon. Okay, now we don't know. ETA, there's no telling. Okay, like, that's one of the biggest questions. Like, okay, you recorded it, now what? How long? Well, we know physical copies are coming October 13th now, so the next couple months could be filled with some updates, including some of those kills. But I would say a lot of stuff is going to hit in October. That makes a lot of sense. But, single player is still, like, on schedule for summer, which ends September 22nd. So you should see single player before then.
What we might also see is maybe, in the mid-September, we get a release date video saying it's coming out in October or November.
Right.
Which, we've seen that before.
Yeah, we saw it before the actual release.
Yeah.
So, makes sense.
It's coming soon, though. We will get it before the end of the year.
Yeah. And what we also talk about in that mocap video is, like I said with DLC, there's a kill that clearly shows a split hand decapitation with what looks like 2 machetes. It also looks like Jason may have picked up a counselor's weapon to do it. Maybe that's the case, but everybody's screaming Jason X. That does make sense. I don't really know if this kill means Jason X, but Jason X in general makes sense.
Yeah.
Everybody's, like, that's probably the most highly requested Jason other than the 3 we got, okay? And it's also, they have the rights. It makes sense. Kane Hodder is one of the biggest play points of the game. They obviously want to please him. If you even go back to the video that talks about, like, it was Kane and Ben, releasing the 3 Jasons, like, who won the vote. Because Jason X was number 4 in that vote. They didn't quite make it. And Kane was like, "Oh, I'm glad that 3 of my Jasons got in. Who knows what the future holds?" I mean, it seems, Gun Me has always had that plan to put in more Jasons. Jason X is always one of those. Why wouldn't they? That would be a good way to get the game back on high gear.
Yeah, we definitely, might see that. We might see that with the physical copies, But now that the bloody Jason skin that is coming with physical copies, maybe we're not going to see Jason X. Maybe that's going to be a Christmas present. Maybe that's going to be a last year game competition DLC.
Yeah, which would make complete sense. Now that the beta's been pushed to October 27th, it makes sense.
Yeah, maybe we see that when the game comes out, after. It definitely probably is not going to come out this year. So maybe we see that in January, February, whenever last year comes out.
Yeah, so you probably are still playing a waiting game here. The key is to try to remain patient.
Yeah.
I know it's tough, but hey, we do have a lot of content coming, and they said even more counselors. You're probably going to get more characters from the films like that of Tommy Jarvis. Like Fox might still be a thing. We don't know. I imagine some random shit just going to be dropped on us out of nowhere. Yeah. So I'm still excited. But Matthew mentioned Bloody Skins. A lot of people have questions about that. That's not just for the physical copies. Digital will get their own bloody skin. We don't know about Counselor Clothing Pack. It doesn't look like we're getting that. Bummer. Like, that sucks. I don't want to spend another $40 just to get that, but oh well, I guess. I'm going to have to deal with it. So let's take a look at what the sales have been since they just hit a milestone. 1.8 million copies sold in the world. Like, damn, that's insane. Okay, but let's take a step back, okay, and let's look at the money that they have, okay? Now, of course, there are split ends, workers that had to get their own cuts, it's split between the devs and creators. Like, there's a lot of, bridges to jump when it comes to splitting money across people. But 1.8 million sales at a minimum of $40 per game, that is $72 million, okay? The game itself was made for less than $2 million, which means they're fucking rolling in money right now. Now, I don't mean to shout out like, that's such a bad thing. Like, they're a bunch of money grubs. No, good for them. That's awesome. It's awesome that money. But it also means we should get some more shit soon, which is why they're back in Mocap Studio, they have the money to work with now.
Right, and they're constantly, expanding their team. Gun Media has said that they've doubled their team, so they went from like 5 to 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
But still, that's good. More people working on this game, it's not going anywhere, at least for the near future.
Yes,
know that for
especially because including for Ilphonic and for Gun, it is absolutely their moneymaker right now. They'd be stupid to let it go.
Yeah.
So they're going to keep her going. It's going to be awesome. So there's definitely a lot more content coming soon. So try to stay patient. Just try to just take it all in, because it's tough for us too, man. Like, we're dying. Single player, anything new would be awesome, because after 400 hours each, the game gets a little boring. It's still fun, but like, something new to change up the game flow would be nice, especially new maps. That's what I'm excited for. We are clueless on where they're taking that. Hopefully we're looking at Manhattan or something like Jason X.
Yeah.
All right. With that, I know that was a bit of a mouthful there, but there's a lot of stuff worth discussing when it comes to that stuff. But let's go ahead and move on to our next line of news, which is, of course, It. Stephen King's It, the remake. We looked at it for a long time now, okay? The official trailer just dropped. We talked about it last week. But, they also had a Latin American TV trailer spot, okay? This is just a spot of only like 30 seconds. But you know what? There's a lot more Pennywise talking in it, okay? So it's definitely worth taking a look at. Before we talk about It, let's go ahead and look at this TV spot and hear a little bit more of Pennywise's voice. Take a look.
Where are you going? You look like a nice boy. I bet you have a lot of friends. I bet you have a lot of friends. I bet you have a lot of friends.
Eat eso.
So obviously, comparing that to the official trailer that we got last week, he says quite a few more words in there. Even though he still didn't say much, it's not. I mean, what we got in the trailer, we got here, take it, like that.
Where you going?
Where you going? I'm sure you have a lot of friends. Like that. It's creepy.
Yeah.
He still freaks me out, and like, I don't know. All around, Pennywise is taking a much darker approach than the original It with Tim Curry. So, I mean, that could either be a bad thing for you or that could be a good thing for you. It just depends how you feel. I'm personally digging it. I'm glad that they're taking a different approach. I love It. I love the original It. But, I mean, I'm glad they're spicing things up for the better rather than taking some, like, drastic, horrible change to it, okay? Because the book is terrifying. Once again, I recommend every time we talk about this, check out the damn book, okay? Now, there's a way to see more footage from It, okay? There will be a 4-minute exclusive look at It attached to Annabelle Creation. So if you're seeing David F. Sandberg's Annabelle Creation next weekend, you may want to arrive early and stay late. We've learned that Warner Brothers and New Line have attached a sneak peek at September's It to the film.
Right. So, reported by the Reliable Trailer Track, a 4-minute and 13-second extended footage reel of It will be shown before Annabelle Creation next weekend. No word on exactly what will be included in the reel, but the site notes that the sneak peek won't likely make its way online.
Yeah, which is a bummer. So you're like, no phones allowed at all during the screening. So we're not going to be able to see.
I want to see it.
I want to see it. I'm sure, you know, somebody always finds a way.
Yeah.
There's always a way. Like somehow Comic-Con trailers always get leaked one way or the other.
Even the D3 Disney Marvel convention.
Yeah. Like there's always a way.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I want to get your hopes up. So it looks like that 4-minute sneak peek's going to stay pretty exclusive, but I imagine there are going to be some pretty detailed breakdowns of it. So hopefully words can do it justice. Probably not, though. Hey, man, It is still going to be in theater September 8th of 2017. That's, you know, only about a month.
Can't come quick enough.
I know. So we already have plans to go see it in a drive-in, okay? And there's no better way to see it. I hope it rains. I hope the weather matches. I'm super excited for it. It's going to be awesome.
High hopes.
Yeah, high hopes for sure. Please, God, don't let us down. Okay, we're running out of horror films to be good this year. You know, we have just October and It. Other than that, things have been pretty much a big mess this year, okay? Yeah. But hold on. As we move on to our next line of news, there might still be a little hope, okay? We don't know. Now, back in 2011, an announcement was made from Dimension Films that James Wan will be producing the horror film House of Horror. The movie has went from some odd changes, okay? And it was officially switched over to the title Demonic, and directors Javier Gutierrez and Xavier Gens were both looking to direct at some point, but Will Cannon eventually took that spot. Now, after all that mess, James Wan remained as a producer, and now we have a trailer. So what once was a dying film is finally having some light here. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and take a look at that trailer now. Here is the trailer for Demonic.
There are a lot of theories about how to open these gates between our world and the underworld. The trick is finding them. Everybody join hands. Are there any spirits present? Show yourself to us.
Oh my God.
What? Just don't move. What?
Homicide here at the Livingston House. Non-detective, Lewis. This is Dr. Klein.
Why don't you walk me through what you remember?
We were hunting ghosts.
Is that what they were here for?
Trying to capture spirits on film.
About 25 years ago was an incident.
I think they call it a mass murder.
Who took your friends, John?
It was the house.
You guys came to do a seance.
What is this?
It was used as a messenger in the old world between the devil and his followers.
Is that blood?
Where is it coming from?
It's like she's resetting.
She's not resetting. She's pointing.
What's she pointing at, John? Us.
People out there could be victims, could be killers.
Do you really expect me to believe that?
I'm telling you, it wasn't human.
I think you killed him, John.
Without looking, can you tell me what's behind you? There's a tear in the wallpaper. Underneath it is a drawing of a little girl. There's something else. There's a woman behind Jules.
Okay, I gotta level with you. This trailer caught me off guard a little bit because since I heard about this, I figured it was going to be horrible. That trailer's not that bad, especially because it's just a straight-to-video VOD film. you know, I figured horrible stuff was going to be with it. The trailer's not that bad. It straight up looks like a combo of every James Wan film ever. It's like Saw meets Insidious meets The Conjuring, just kind of mixed. I mean, you even got the old woman in there. You got your detective blaming you as, like, you know, the culprit.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. All of it just seems like a mesh of James Wan films, which kind of makes sense.
And it was really well done because, like, at the point where you just heard the ballerina, what's it called, you know, and it's just you would think that, like, that's the point where the music would, like, build or anything, but nah, it was just ding,
yeah.
ding. You know, yeah, that was really well done. And then even the ending, where, like, I was expecting a jump scare, it really wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't a jump scare, really.
Yeah, it does seem like there's going to be some cliche stuff in there. I mean, you got, like, the old lady popping into the camera. I am glad they didn't take a solo found footage approach.
Yeah,
it looks like they have some found footage elements in there, which can be effective when combining it with the right sense of filmmaking. So, you know, I have my hopes up, but you know, it doesn't sound too horrible so far.
Right. Here's an official synopsis. The aftermath of a horrific massacre where 5 college students were brutally murdered inside an abandoned home. Detective Mark Lewis and psychologist Dr. Elizabeth Klein question one of the few survivors who explains they were amateur ghost hunters seeking out paranormal phenomenon at the abandoned house, which was believed to be haunted. But what started out as harmless activity turned into something truly terrifying.
Yeah. So at least there's some story there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes too high, but it does look like it's going to be a lot better than a lot of people anticipated.
For a direct-to-video, you know, it sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah. And, you know, James Wan name is still on it.
Yeah.
And they're relying on that heavily. I mean, look at the goddamn poster.
Half the trailer was James Wan, Saw, Insidious, The Conjuring, like half the trailer.
Yeah, so they're relying on that name to keep them going. But yeah, Demonic arrives on DVD, digital HD, and on demand October 10th from Lionsgate Home Entertainment. So, you know, one more thing to look forward to in October, and I think it is worth checking out at that time. With that, let's move on to our next and last line of news. A pretty short episode today, but, you know, we're trying to have a little more discussion base. Flatliners. We haven't talked about it at all, but it's being remade, okay? Now, the 1990 saw the release of the sci-fi thriller Flatliners. It was a huge hit at the time, and a lot of people still love it. It's kind of like has a really big cult following now. The film starred Kiefer Sutherland, Julia Roberts, Kevin Bacon, okay, William Baldwin, Oliver Platt, and was directed by Joel Schumacher. Excuse me. The story revolved around a group of medical students who journeyed into the afterworld to find meaning in their own lives before being resuscitated into the nick of time. Of course, things ended up going horribly wrong. Now, with the new Flatliners movie just around the corner for release, a new international trailer has finally arrived, which means we're going to take a look right now. Let's check out the brand new international trailer for the remake of Flatliners. Take a look.
What if we could document what happens to us after we die?
What are you talking about?
I would like you to stop my heart. You give it 1 minute, and then you bring me back.
Clear!
Did you see a white light? It was like a feeling of intense power.
It's like her brain's been rewired.
I'm going next.
I'm going next. 3 minutes.
Jamie only did 2. I'm competitive.
It's a good day to die.
Was it all fun?
What do you mean?
Was there anything disturbing?
I think I'm seeing things.
This experiment needs to end right now. I did not know that the side effects would start hunting us down.
Now, I will say, after seeing that, this looks like another remake that's not going to be too shabby. Now, like I said, Flatliners has a very large cult following, so people might be pretty sensitive to this. But I really do think it looks solid from what we've seen so far, and is another one worth checking out pretty soon as it's coming up.
Yeah, so the original synopsis is as follows. A University Hospital School of Medicine, as a group of ambitious medical students are about to die and live to describe the experience. Embarking on a daring and arrogant experiment, the 5 aim to push through the confines of life and touch the face of death. In their search for knowledge, however, the 5 discover the chilling consequences of daring to tamper with immortality.
I mean, it sounds interesting. What I always liked about Flatliners is that it was something you kind of question what would actually happen if you did it yourself.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool thing to play with, and that's one of the reasons it has such a cult following today. But the new Flatliners film will be directed by Niels Arden, a pleb, I probably butchered that name, who is the best known for helming the original The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Obviously has a decent name for himself. He also did the pilot episode for Mr. Robot, so hey, all right. Now, Ben Ripley will pen the screenplay with Lawrence Mark and Michael Douglas producing. Some solid names on there. So, I mean, don't get your hopes up too high, okay? But I just another one I think is definitely worth checking out. The new Flatliners will be released on September 29th of this year. Coming up pretty fast. I mean, since we haven't heard too much about it, I remember it being discussed a while back, but it's kind of dropping on a bomb on us. But it will be in theaters September 29th, 2017. Another film to check out for October. And let's hope it's not a complete disaster. That's like I said, we're running out of hope here. We're coming to the end of the year. It's the fall season. Horror needs to shine now, or we are screwed for 2017. Huh? With that, that is a wrap on Slash and Cast today. Let us know what you guys think about all the topics. And of course, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Editor, roll that outro. Hey you! Thanks for watching this episode of Slash and Cast. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop a like and click that box right down there to check out last week's episode.
Also, if you want to check out the film the fans are calling the best fan film of all time, make sure you click that box right down there to check out our Friday the 13th fan film.
While you're at it, click that circle right there to subscribe to our channel. Never miss a video again.
As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.